Hi, I'm Jennifer and I'm Minimalist My Way. I wanted to give everybody a tour of my indoor garden setup and give you a little taste of what I do in the fall. Normally people are busy gardening outdoors in the summertime and springtime, but now it's fall, and so I'm going to start my winter garden that I do inside my house to grow salad greens and just any other fun things that I want to have during the winter, so I can still enjoy my green thumb and enjoy some fresh produce and save a little bit of money and enjoy my hobby of gardening. So join me for my tour of my indoor garden setup. So if you've seen my video on my laundry routine, you'll know that my laundry room is in my basement. So here's my little basement. It's not super big, but I have dedicated just one corner here to my gardening system. I purchased my gardening thing, rack thing, whatever, stand, I guess, from gardeners.com. It's Gardener's Supply. I'll show you the flyer that they have. So it was already designed and all I had to do was put it together. And it came with grow lights as well, because obviously I don't get much light here in the basement. And then I've added a few of my own little tweaks and fun stuff, so let me show you. So one thing I do in the fall is I save seeds. And so these are tomato seeds. So these are tomato seeds for cherry tomatoes that I really like. So I usually try to save seeds every year from it. And then this is a new German tomato variety that I got from a friend. So I didn't have a lot of seeds from it, so I wanted to save some seeds from that one. And you can Google how to save different types of seeds, and then I just use them next year. This is the catalog from the company where I bought my system, my growing system. It's just gardeners.com, which is really easy. And the system that I purchased is called the Stack and Grow. And I got, I'll show you it again. So it has a bottom rung there with lights. And then I bought some extenders so that it can be super tall, because sometimes I have really tall plants. And then there's a second rack right there with lights above it as well. And then there's just like the top that I can just set things on, but I don't have lights for it. So I have two lighted areas that I can grow different things. So I could grow seedlings and have them really close to the light on the top, and then I can grow more established plants on the bottom and have the lights move up really high away from there. Right now I'm not using it for anything because I've been growing my garden outside. I used it to start my seeds for my flowers and my vegetables out back in the garden, which I did take a garden tour and potato harvest video that you can search for as well if you wanted to see my outdoor garden. So just getting the two tiers, I believe it was, well, I'm not sure what I paid because I bought them several years ago, but I looked it up today, and it's if you get the LED lights, which is what I got, it's about $349 or $359 for the whole system. If you just wanted to go with fluorescent bulbs, I think it's $299. And then, but what's neat about this system is you can add on, that's why it's called the Stack and Grow. So if I wanted to add a third tier on top of here, I could buy one at a reduced price and just add it on to here. So that's kind of neat. So on top of here, I have all of my seeds, and this is how I keep them. This was actually, I found this in my grandpa's garage when we were going through his things, and he used it for different sized nuts and bolts and nails and things like that. So all of these little things are drawers, you know, little drawers, and then I have just renamed, you know, put little labels on them from seed packets, and that is how I keep all of my seeds for everything. So that's kind of neat. And I just have junk on here, just, you know, pots and trays and things just kind of everywhere. I bought these seed starter things that have little mats in them. I bought them from gardeners as well for the first year, but now I'm pretty good at it, so I don't use them that much. And then I have some potting mix, some seed starter stuff, and this is, I know, it's a bucket of dirt, is what it is, but I'm too stupid apparently to compost, and I hate to say that, but it's just true. So I bought a Vitamix food cycler, and it is basically an electronic composter. So I save all my compost scraps that I would normally throw on a compost pile if I were a smarter individual, but instead I put them in there, and you push the button and you come back a few hours later and you have, it's not compost, it's basically dehydrated material, but if you keep it in an open air place for another 7 days, then you can basically use it as kind of fertilizer and soil additive for your garden beds. So that's what I do with it every year. I just mix it in with my garden at the end of the year, let it go all winter, and it's good to go. The other thing that I have, I do have a heating pad here, which is kind of weird, but I use that to start my seeds because they like to be warm and the basement's a little bit chilly. And then, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I don't have it plugged in. I also, in that outlet back there, I also have a timer. So my lights stay on for, it depends, sometimes 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours, sometimes longer than that every day. But there's no way I would ever come down here and turn them on and off correctly. So I have a timer that turns them on and off. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to kind of clean up the indoor garden a little bit, and I'm going to start some seeds for my winter produce that I want to have all winter long. It'll mostly be salad stuff. So we'll see what I do. And it just occurred to me that this is a minimalist channel, and I just said that, you know, all of this stuff is junk and whatever. So all of my things have been purposely procured for my hobby of gardening. So obviously this was from my grandpa, and it is near and dear to my heart, and I absolutely love it. And every time I look at it, I'm so happy that I'm able to display it and use it for a purpose that I love, and I think of him every time I use it. So that's really neat there. All of this stuff I have saved either from these little pots I saved from when I went to drop off my recycling. They were in the recycling already that somebody else had dropped off. So I saved them, and I've been using them every year because I love the size of them. These are what I get my mushrooms in from the supermarket. So I saved them to grow seeds in. These are these are obviously from, you know, dog food, cat food, stuff that we get anyway. All of these pots I've either gotten at garage sales or from the trash from other people if I see them sitting out, or from the recycling bin. I have, or just because I've bought plants or other people have bought plants, and I'm like, hey, can I have your pots? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I was just gonna throw them away anyway. Same way with the trays. This tray right here, I think my mom bought something in it or something, and I used it, or I just kind of got it from her. These are kind of interesting. I use chopsticks a lot, and just when you get Chinese takeout or whatever, if they put them in there, even though you tell them not to, you know, you've got those, and they're great for making holes for putting seeds in, or for just like roughing up a little pot of soil. They're great. And then, like I said, I bought these from gardeners to help me start because I didn't I wasn't a very good gardener in the beginning. So I just want to say that, you know, I did say these were junk, but everything that I have, I go through it often. I get rid of the things I don't use anymore. And I didn't spend a ton of money to buy any of that kind of thing. I did spend money to buy the system, but that was just to get me started and going off a good foot. And then the food cycler I bought used off of Amazon Marketplace. There was a lady in my town that was selling it, and so I got it at a really reduced price, and it was like I said, she didn't need it anymore or want it anymore, but it still worked, so I was able to kind of rescue that for a lot lower price. So, you know, don't think that I I have all this stuff and I'm into it for the stuff. I'm really into it for saving money and growing vegetables. And honestly, I know that this lighting system thing was expensive, and I don't think that it has paid for itself yet. But the fact that I have gone several years now and not bought any vegetables for planting in the garden or flowers for planting in the pots around my house and yard, I've gone several years without buying any of them because I just plant seeds and I save the seeds now even, so I'm not even buying seeds. I'm, you know, getting the seeds for free from the plants that I'm already planting and using them again to plant new plants next year. So like I said, it hasn't paid for itself yet, but probably within the next 2 years or so, I think it will have paid for itself and will most likely still be working. I was worried about the light bulbs. I didn't know how much longer, you know, how long they would last, and they're kind of pricey. They're just up in there. But knock on wood, they have not burned out yet. And the LED ones are supposed to save on electricity. I don't notice any difference in my electric bill when I have this running versus when I don't. And the LED light bulbs are the reason for that, as well as they're supposed to last a lot longer. So I did make this purchase very mindfully, and you know, used all of my minimalist principles and everything when I was choosing it, and I still maintain all of that during my hobby, as well as it's a lot of fun. All right, I just wanted to say those things. So I just wanted to show you kind of live and in action how the food cycler works, because it is really pretty cool. So this is my compost bucket from upstairs. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand and film with the other hand. So I just have a bunch of gross junk that I saved from that I would normally put in my compost pile. So it looks like there's old jalapenos, eggshells, banana peels, whatever else you would normally put in a compost bin. So I just put it in there, and then you line this up. Oh, I must have something sticking up. Oh yeah. Got all this stuff. Crush those eggs a little bit more. There we go. Okay. There we go. Oh, okay. I plug it in. I usually keep it unplugged just in case it draws power, but and then you push the button, and then it's very, very quiet. This is as loud as it ever gets unless it gets something stuck in it. And then you'll hear like the occasional noise. It's pretty funny. But in a few hours I will have, not compost, but the dehydrated stuff that I can add to my garden as fertilizer. It is the next day, and I spent, maybe 45 minutes last evening cleaning up my indoor garden station here. So I got rid of the seeds I was saving here because they were ready to be packaged. So I put them in here and made some new labels for things that I needed to, and combined other things. So I've got a couple more actually extra spaces that I'll be able to add new seeds to. Yay! And then I started some seeds for my winter salad garden. So I've got a lot of lettuces. I've got spinach, kale, arugula, radicchio, Swiss chard, and then these are 2 lettuces. There's just a regular lettuce that I apparently didn't label when I put it in a in the seed thing, and then there's a butter crunch lettuce. So that's kind of what sounded good to me at the time. Oh, and the white thing is cat grass. I always let my kitties have cat grass whenever I remember to grow it. Roo-roo. Hi, pretty girl. I have 3 cats and 3 dogs. So as you'll notice, I did set up the timer again for this, and these are great grow lights because they've got these nice just switches. So like I want the top one on because I'm growing things on the top, but I'm not growing anything on the bottom. So I just turned the little clicky button there, and the top one comes on, and now the bottom one doesn't. So eventually when these get bigger, and I'll move some of them to the bottom because they'll be super tall, I will either switch or get both lights on, and with the timer I don't have to worry about coming down here and doing it myself. And this was just the rest of my stuff that I just kind of reorganized over there. The cat always likes it when I reorganize things. Yeah, so I will film again in a few days, and hopefully I will have some little shoots to show you. That would be awesome. So it is 2 weeks later. I didn't mean for it to be 2 weeks later, but I've had some really bizarre things happen in my life, and I was happy that I planted my winter garden when I did. So let's take a look and see. My butter crunch lettuce is doing well. My Swiss chard did not grow, but that's okay. But my radicchio did. I don't know what all these gnats are, and I totally have sprayed neem oil. That's what all that white residue is. So if anybody knows how to get rid of these horrible little gnats, let me know. I have trouble with them every year. Spinach did nicely. My kale is coming up great. My arugula is coming up great. The cats had a lot of fun with the cat grass. And then that lettuce in the back is not doing great, but it did come up. So, oops, nope, that's a bad idea. You can see it a little bit though. I was really unhappy with my potting mix. It keeps growing mushrooms and it's just really weird. So I think I've got, and look, it looks like mulch more than it looks like potting mix. So I don't know. I guess I've thrown it out. I actually threw it on the garden outside, so I will not be using it again. But everything looks great. Everything's growing, and that has just been like about 2 weeks. And luckily, I found out last night that we were having a freeze warning, and it not only froze last night, but also snowed. So I'm really glad I went out into the garden and rescued the rest of the peppers, the rest of the tomatoes, carrots, kale, but I'm hoping that they will turn red because they are beauties. Look how big this guy is. He's a big guy. So I'm hoping he'll turn red and we'll get to eat them. I also read somewhere about starting a celery plant from just the celery bottom that you have in the grocery store, from the celery that you get in the grocery store. So I am trying that as well. So we'll see how that goes, but that is the rest of the outdoor garden. So now, because fall came really quick and then it seems like now it's winter all of a sudden, that is the rest of my outdoor garden. So now all I have is my indoor garden. So I'm kind of bummed about that because I do like having fresh stuff in the summertime, but that's why I do it in the winter too. And probably needed to start that a little bit earlier. All right, so that's it. So that was how I planted my winter garden. So thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, please leave them below. As always, like and subscribe. And today, as like every day, be minimalist your way. Thanks.